Classic. Vino Rosso has taken the lead. And it's a vintage performance by Vino Rosso.
We're in the home stretch now. Hello, everybody. I'm Mike Welsch coming to you from Del Mar with the daily Racing Form Breeders' Cup workout report brought to you by Spendthrift Farm. Only 2 days away now from the 2021, the first of the two 2021 Breeders' Cup programs. Everybody's in town now. Everybody, it seemed like, was out on the track this morning in one track or the other. The turf course was pretty busy at 7:15, and the main track, as usual, just full of activity today with all the Breeders' Cup horses now getting in their final licks before the big weekend. Weather was a big story this morning. Not only was it cold, unseasonably cold here and hazy and damp as it's been here for the last several days, but fog actually descended on the course right after the renovation break, pretty much right as the horses came back on the track for the second training session. Pretty much obscured most of the track for about an hour or so, which hindered some of the stuff we'd like to see. There were a few horses blowing out. Couldn't really get a watch on them. Couldn't really see them till they got to the top of the stretch. The same I'm going to talk about Team Ballydoyle. They did a lot more this morning. The Europeans actually playing catch-up here. Now, only American horses really got in all their final major preparations for the Breeders' Cup at different venues around the country last weekend. But the Europeans arriving late on the scene, like I said, playing catch-up. So a lot of them did a lot more activity this morning, a lot harder routines than normal. The Ballydoyle 7, trainer Aidan O'Brien, 7 Breeders' Cup contenders, all really open gallop down the stretch. They might even have gone farther. I really didn't pick them up out of the fog till they hit the top of the lane. And the 7 of them in 2 groups, 4 and then 3, went down the lane at better than a 2-minute clip and continued that all the way back to the 6 furlong pole. So a busy day for the Ballydoyle 7. The turf course was extremely busy this morning. Only one session from 7:15 to about 7:45, but was really hectic those first 15 minutes. Now, the turf course here is pretty narrow. It's not as large as some of the other turf courses around the country. And when it got crowded, it looked like I-5 back here during rush hour with horses everywhere. We almost had a little incident, too. We had one worker today, one official Breeders' Cup worker, that is, on the turf, and that was Thunder Love, who is on the AE list, hoping to get into the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Sprint. But he won a half mile in 50-2. Looked good doing it. The dogs are way out, so the time is a little bit misleading. But as he came down the stretch, there were a couple of gallopers coming to the wire right in front of him, and he had to do some dodging, some deft dodging to get around him. You could hear his riders screaming at the other 2 riders to get out of his way. But we did avoid that incident there. 50-2 for Thunder Love. And right behind him, stablemate Cachet also actually blew out 3/8 of a mile. I got him in 25-1 for the final quarter. He looked good, finished strong, and carried that momentum out into the turn. So a good effort there for a juvenile Phillies turf candidate, Cachet. Trainer Charlie Appleby had all 6 of his Breeders' Cup horses out on the turf during that session today. Space Blues, Walton Street, Yabir, the main 3, they will run on Saturday, but also a couple of 2-year-olds, Modern Games and Albahar. I thought they looked good as well this morning, open galloping around the turf course. The first horse on the turf this morning was Odaria, the defending champion in the filly and mare turf. And while she didn't have an official breeze this morning, she came pretty close to it. I mean, she was open galloping at way better than a 2-minute clip, pretty much clipping off 14-second 1/8 miles for at least 3/4 of a mile. She looked pretty good. I mean, she's not going to give up her filly and mare crown without a turf crown without a fight, although she's very poorly drawn away on the outside, post 13 for her. Same situation Tarnawa finds himself into, trying to defend his turf title. He's breaking way on the outside as well, and he was on the main track this morning, and he looked good. He seems to be doing well coming into the turf. After the break, most of the classic horses trained, some of them in the fog, and Hot Rod Charlie gets my #1 star for the day again. maybe not again, but for today for sure. And he's been terrific ever since he's gotten here. He worked well over the weekend, had a great day yesterday. I thought even a better day today. He come flying down the stretch, open galloping through the wire and all the way around the turn. He really seems to be coming up to a big effort in the Classic. Right behind him, Essential Quality. Yesterday just jogged. Today had a first gallop over the racetrack. Looks fine coming out of that very impressive work over at Churchill Downs over the weekend. Also, Medina Spirit was back out today. I thought Art Collector looked really good. He was full of himself this morning. His rider had all he could do to control him down the backside and keep him from going too fast. But Art Collector, again, another one coming into this race looking terrific. He also avoided a potentially dangerous situation. As he was pulling up, another horse got loose on the track. His saddle had slipped. He lost his rider. He was running around the track for several minutes out of control while Art Collector was on the track. Luckily, there was no incident there. Also, She Dares the Devil was also out of the track at the same time. She was in the midst of a gallop when the ambulance came out to go on the backside because of the incident, that the horse ambulance, because of that incident. And she had to temper her gallop a little bit, but she's looked good in the couple of days I've seen her here as well. The final Classic horse, actually the final Breeders' Cup horse of them all on the track this morning was Knicks Go. Another aggressive gallop in those draw reins. That's just him. That's how he goes, and you wouldn't expect anything less from Knicks Go. He will likely be the favorite in a wide open and very competitive Classic. Just mentioning some other horses that I saw today that caught my eye. Just going to throw out some names. Obviously couldn't see everybody, especially with the fog, but I like what I saw from Dog Tag, Private Mission, Following C, again, Stablemate Malathat, again, Juju's mom, again, Royal Flag was good, CC was good. I thought Rogier looked good this morning. Latruska did the same thing today as she did yesterday. She broke away from the pony right here by the eighth pole, went away at a very fast clip, almost in runoff mode, but exercise rider Roger Horgan got her back under control pretty quickly. She leveled out and she put in a nice 1 3/8 mile gallop once more time. Not getting great vibes from Echo Zulu, but I didn't get to see all of her gallop today. Unfortunately, she went around. She was in the fog as well, so we'll keep an eye on her tomorrow. A couple of horses that did blow out, again, that didn't get a watch on them today were stablemates Matera Sky and Jasper Prince. Matera Sky flying to the wire, being asked to blow out in preparation for his second try at the Breeders' Cup Sprint, a formidable task there, going up against the likes of Jackie's Warrior. And from the gate, A Case of You broke out of the gate and came down the lane, went out 12 and change into the turn, looked good, trying to hone his speed as he's going to need for the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint. So that's a synopsis of what happened here this morning. Again, almost too much for one to take in, and we'll have the same situation tomorrow. We'll see the turf course. I'm going to guess we'll see a couple more of the Europeans maybe blow out the ones that are in on Saturday. We've seen that in the past, so we're looking forward to that. Going to keep an eye on everybody. Just make sure everybody gets that one final day of serious training in here as we are now within 48 hours of Breeders' Cup 2021.